every individual charged in the indictment is charged with one count of violating Georgia's Racketeer, Influenced, and Corrupt Organizations Act.
There's been a lot of news made about RICO laws. RICO was passed in 1970 with the intent to go after mafia-like organizations that were engaged in extortion or violent crimes. More recently, in the state of Georgia, RICO laws have been used to go after teachers, entertainers, and even the former president.
Juries are very, very smart, and they want to know the entire story. And what RICO does is let you tell the entire story. It lets you tell about every member that joined a criminal enterprise, making sure that everyone that is involved in the criminal enterprise is held responsible.
In contrast to federal law, the legislation in Georgia targets intent. Under this legal framework, defendants can be held responsible for conspiring to participate in racketeering activities, extending the accountability beyond the mere commission of a crime.
So essentially, if a person tries to engage in a pattern of racketeering activity, that can be sufficient under the Georgia statute, which is broader than the federal statute, and also one of the provisions under which the Trump defendants were indicted.
What makes it challenging in these kinds of big cases are two factors. The first is that these trials last a really long time due to the amount of indictments they typically carry. In 2014, one of the most renowned racketeering cases in Georgia unfolded with a cheating scandal in Atlanta's public schools. The prosecutor at the center of this controversy was Fonnie T. Willis.
In Atlanta Public Schools, we indicted 35 people, and they were everyone from the superintendent to section superintendents to principals to teachers, because all of them had played a part in this criminal enterprise.
The trial spanned nearly 8 months, making it the lengthiest in Georgia's legal history. The second issue is jury selection. The jury selection process for the high-profile racketeering case against rapper Young Thug in Georgia has been ongoing for months, causing substantial delays.
Selecting a jury in these cases is just really, really challenging. So the Atlanta Public Schools RICO case took 6 weeks to pick a jury. And that was the longest jury selection in Georgia history until we got to YSL. People in the community have been reading about this, they've heard about it, and they have very strong views about whether prosecution is or is not appropriate in this case. And so trying to sort through and find a jury that can fairly and impartially listen to this evidence is really important, but also incredibly challenging.
Further criticism of the Georgia RICO statute is that it opens the door for numerous chances for the co-defendants to introduce legal challenges, delays, and appeals.
Can you address concerns that this case is so sprawling that it's going to be difficult to see to the end?
I think that's an uninformed opinion. In my office, as I told you, we have many RICO indictments. I certainly have RICO indictments that are bigger than 19. I think I have 2 with 28 defendants right now. I don't think that 28 or 35 or 19 or 8 that's who got involved in the criminal enterprise. They deserve to be charged. In fact, they earned it.
Despite concerns about the complexity and duration of RICO cases, DA Willis remains confident in the process, anticipating an extended trial process and appeals that can span beyond the 2024 election and 2025 inauguration.
Can you give us any clue when this would wrap up?
I think a case will be on appeals for years.
Okay.
But I think that in terms of I believe in that case there will be a trial. I believe the trial will take many months, and I don't expect that we will conclude until the winter or the very early part of 2025.